Have you ever felt like you're paying for love with something other than money? In the intricate dance of modern romance, there's a currency more valuable than gold, one that is traded, withheld, and earned every single day. That currency is attention, and understanding its economy is the key to unlocking the deepest mysteries of attraction and connection. As a psychologist who has spent countless hours listening to the hidden stories of the human heart, I can tell you that this concept isn't just a clever metaphor. It's a fundamental operating system in relationships. Attention is a commodity, a very valuable one, and it operates on the principles of supply and demand. Women in particular have an innate understanding of this. They know its worth, and they know how to trade in it. This isn't necessarily a cynical or manipulative act. Rather, it's a deeply ingrained psychological and biological dance that plays out between men and women, often unconsciously. To navigate the world of relationships successfully, you must first become fluent in this language of exchange, the biological and social roots of a priceless commodity. Why is attention, especially a man's attention, so potent? The answer lies in a complex cocktail of biology, psychology, and centuries of social conditioning. From a biological standpoint, human desire is not a simple switch. For women, sexual desire is often more intricate than for men, deeply interwoven with emotional connection, feelings of safety and trust. It is not merely a physical urge, but a response that begins in the brain's emotional centers, the hypothalamus and the limbic system. When a man gives a woman his undivided, high-quality attention, he is signaling more than just passing interest. He is providing the emotional and psychological prerequisites for intimacy. This focused attention can trigger the release of hormones like dopamine, which creates pleasure, and oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which fosters feelings of closeness and connection. In essence, his attention is the key that unlocks her capacity for deeper intimacy. This biological reality is amplified by powerful social and cultural forces. Feminist thought helps us understand that for generations, societal structures have placed different pressures on men and women. Men were traditionally conditioned to be providers, their value often measured by their ability to supply resources and security. Women, in turn, were often conditioned to seek out these qualities in a partner. While we are moving towards a more equal society, these psychological echoes remain. Today, a man's focused attention is a modern proxy for resource allocation. It tells a woman, of all the things I could be doing, working, pursuing hobbies, looking at other women, I am choosing to invest my most valuable resource, my time and focus, in you. This validation makes her feel special, seen, and secure. This dynamic is further explained by social exchange theory, which posits that human relationships are based on a subjective cost-benefit analysis. Individuals implicitly weigh what they gain, rewards, against what they give up, costs, in an interaction. In this framework, a woman might perceive giving her time, affection, and emotional vulnerability as a cost. The reward she seeks in return is not necessarily money or gifts, but the invaluable prize of a high-value man's dedicated attention. When this exchange feels balanced and fair, relationship satisfaction increases, the marketplace of attention, differentiating cheap tributes from real treasure. Not all attention is created equal. In fact, most of the attention an attractive woman receives is effectively worthless. This is the cheap attention that bombards her daily, and she has a finely tuned filter for it. Think about the man who stares at a woman from across the room all night. He might think he's showing interest, but what he's actually communicating is hesitation, fear, and a lack of confidence. This is low-value, anonymous, and frankly, creepy attention. It gives him a small chemical pleasure hit in his brain. But for her, it's just part of the landscape of staring male eyes she's learned to ignore. It's abundant, and because it's abundant, it has no value. Women have very little empathy for male longing that is combined with cowardly procrastination. Then there's the modern-day equivalent, the social media circus. We live in an age where attention is literally quantified by likes, comments, and shares. Platforms like Facebook and Instagram have become arenas for attention-seeking. While this can be a tool for connection and sharing information, it has also flooded the market with superficial validation. A like is the lowest form of currency, easily given and just as easily forgotten. So what is high-value attention? It is attention that is scarce, freely given without neediness, and comes from a man who has options and a purpose. The man who doesn't stare but confidently walks up to her and speaks, his mind stands out immediately. He isn't seeking her validation. He is offering his presence as a gift. He is a man who doesn't need her but wants her, and that distinction is everything. He is a man with a full life, friends, hobbies, a career, passions. His attention is valuable precisely because it is a deliberate choice drawn from a life that is already complete without her. This is why having goals and a purpose beyond a woman is so crucial for a man. It makes his attention a limited and therefore precious resource. A woman instinctively understands this. She knows that winning the attention of a man who all the other women want is a profound validation of her own worth. It proves she was special enough to capture the prize, making her feel uniquely chosen. The art of the exchange, how attention is traded, tested, and earned. The exchange of this currency begins with the very first interaction, flirting. Flirting is the opening negotiation, a series of small, often nonverbal bids to gauge mutual interest. It's not just trivial fun. It's a sophisticated process that requires intelligence and empathy. The initial signals are subtle. Prolonged eye contact, a genuine smile, leaning in closer, a light, playful touch. These are the first deposits into a potential joint account. Research shows that women signal interest by laughing, glancing, and sometimes subtly adjusting their hair or posture, while men might adopt a more expansive, confident body language. Once mutual interest is established, the dynamic of earning and rewarding attention comes into play. This is where many relationships either blossom or wither. A common mistake men make is to flood a woman with attention once she shows a flicker of interest. They text constantly, are always available, and put her on a pedestal. They essentially devalue their own currency by making it too abundant. A high-value individual, whether male or female, understands the importance of boundaries and self-worth. A high-value woman, for example, has her own life and won't drop everything for a man at a moment's notice. She puts herself first, not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect. Similarly, a man who understands this dynamic uses his attention strategically. As author Robert Greene noted, the key is to alternate an exciting presence with a cool distance. This translates to a simple but powerful principle. Reward the behavior you want to see more of, and withdraw from the behavior you don't. When she is sweet, affectionate, and respectful, reward her with your warmth, affection, and undivided attention. This reinforces positive behavior. However, if she becomes disrespectful, starts unnecessary drama, or treats you like a low priority, you must be willing to remove your attention. This doesn't mean causing a fight or giving her the silent treatment in a punitive way. It means turning your focus back to your own purpose, your work, your friends, your hobbies. You become less available until she demonstrates that she is ready to re-engage in a positive way. This is the principle behind why no contact can be so effective after a breakup. The sudden and total withdrawal of attention forces the other person to confront its absence and, often, its value. From the other side, women often employ tests to gauge a man's sincerity and investment. A woman might initially reject a man's advances or an invitation not because she isn't interested, but to see if he is genuinely invested or just looking for an easy conquest. Is he willing to persist respectfully? Does he respect her boundaries when she says no to something, whether it's a physical advance or a request to change for him? A man who gets angry or gives up easily fails the test. He proves his currency was counterfeit. A man who respects her decision while maintaining his interest shows that his intentions are genuine and that he values her as a person, not just an object to be won. The dark side, when currency becomes control and manipulation, like any form of power, the currency of attention can be corrupted. When these dynamics are used not to build mutual respect but to dominate and control, a relationship turns toxic. This is the realm of psychological manipulation, or gaslighting. A manipulator weaponizes attention. They begin by building trust, often with intense displays of affection, the classic love bombing. They might say things like, "You are my everything," which sounds romantic, but is often a prelude to isolating you from friends and family. Once you are dependent on their attention, they begin to use it as a tool of control. The signs are insidious, but clear. They dismiss your feelings. When you express hurt or concern, they tell you you're too sensitive or overreacting, making you doubt your own emotional reality. They constantly criticize and blame you. No matter the issue, it's always your fault. They slowly erode your self-esteem, making you believe you are flawed and lucky to have them. They lie and distort reality. They will deny things they said or did, creating a false narrative that leaves you confused and questioning your own memory and sanity. They control your access to others. A key tactic is to prevent you from getting outside perspectives that might challenge their narrative. They want to be the sole source of your validation and reality. This is no longer a dance of attraction. It's a hostage situation. The victim becomes trapped in a cycle of seeking the manipulator's approval, their entire sense of self-worth tied to a currency that is deliberately and cruelly withheld to maintain power. In its most extreme form, this exchange can become overtly transactional, mirroring dynamics like transactional sex, where emotional and physical intimacy are explicitly traded for material gain, often driven by profound power imbalances. Moving beyond the transaction, building a relationship of shared wealth understanding. The economy of attention is not about learning to be a master manipulator or a stingy banker of affection. It's about becoming aware of the invisible forces that shape our relationships so you can navigate them with wisdom and integrity. The ultimate goal is to evolve beyond a purely transactional dynamic into a relationship built on a foundation of genuine, shared wealth. A truly healthy relationship, as the sources point out, is defined by something much deeper than a calculated exchange. It's built on a bedrock of honesty, mutual respect, trust, empathy, and open communication. In such a relationship, both partners are independent individuals who choose to support each other. They establish and respect boundaries, not as a power play, but as a sign of mutual respect for each other's autonomy. They listen actively and share openly, creating a space of emotional safety. In this higher form of relationship, the giving and receiving shifts. You give your attention and affection not because you expect an immediate return on your investment, but because you genuinely care for the other person's well-being. The joy comes from the act of giving itself. The exchange becomes a beautiful, seamless flow rather than a tit-for-tat transaction. You both contribute to the relationship's emotional bank account, knowing that you can both draw from it in times of need. This creates a powerful sense of security and happiness that no amount of transactional validation can replicate. This doesn't mean the principles of value and scarcity disappear. You must still be a person of high value, with your own life and purpose. You must still be willing to walk away from a relationship that is not serving you. But the motivation changes. The focus shifts from what can I get to what can we build together. Conclusion: so is attention a currency? Absolutely. Viewing it through this lens demystifies so much of the confusing game of love and attraction. It is a powerful tool that, when understood, can help you build attraction, command respect, and teach a partner how you deserve to be treated. It explains why confidence is so attractive, why neediness is a repellent, and why a life of purpose is the ultimate aphrodisiac. But it is also a dangerous tool when it falls into the wrong hands, capable of being twisted into a weapon of control and manipulation. Ultimately, the goal is not to become a master trader in the marketplace of love, forever calculating your emotional profits and losses. The goal is to understand the market so well that you can wisely choose where to invest your precious currency. It's about finding a partner who recognizes its value and is willing to invest theirs in return, building a shared fortune of trust, respect, and deep, authentic connection. It's about moving from a transactional economy to a partnership of shared wealth, where the greatest return is a love that is truly priceless.